Hi everyone, this is Aryan back with another video, and in this video we're going to be helping Audrey AI. I hope I'm pronouncing the name well. I mean that's how it sounds. So we're going to be helping them build a better landing page. So this brand I came across through LinkedIn recommendations. Like on the site tab you have some recommendations. So I went to their brand and I thought there's definitely a lot that can be done. They do have a basic page. Like I honestly I think this is done by Claude Code because this whole design theme is now very recognizable. Like using instrument serif. Sorry, let me actually just confirm that. Yeah, using instrument serif, and I've seen this on a lot of startup websites which are in, let's say, YC. They've been backed by, like, this is a very common design theme now. Previously it was those purplish gradients, like that kind of AI slop design. This, I don't think it is like that, but this is definitely very recognizable. Like I've came across a lot of startups that literally use this kind of font. Like they go with the serif one and then they have sans serif, which isn't an issue, but this is kind of getting overused, and that's also not the point, because the main point here is the structure can be improved a lot, and there are some sections which I think should be shown earlier considering the industry they are in. So first, let's actually understand the product. So to do that, I have done a breakdown. So I've used Claude for this, so it helps both me and you to understand what the product is. I do have gone through the product before clicking on record, so I do know some idea on like what the brand does. So to give you a quick summary, Audrey is an audit specific AI platform that learns firms' clients. So this is for auditors. So this basically helps them learn how their clients are and obviously grow as you work with them. Methodology and how their teams work. So auditors can focus on judgment rather than manual work. The core insight is that audit has left behind while other professions got purpose-built AI. So for example, for coders, it's Copilot, right? Like as you can see, it's mentioned here. Cursor, there's like so many tools which are very specific to developers. And lawyers have Harvey. So if you don't know Harvey, it's like an AI for legal law firms. So this is like the product that is there. I really love the website that they have. So yeah, this is like the one of the major products in their category. Generic AI doesn't work for audit because the data is messy, tabular, and inconsistent. Audrey solves this with two core concepts. So they have two core concepts, or you can say two products in a way. So the first is PBC agent. So PBC means prepared by client. It automates prepared by client document requests, auto draft them using client history and firm methodology, validates upload automatically, and delivers a clean structured data. So it's all about cutting. It's like saving you a lot of time by cutting those like tedious work that is there. That's a lot of small things that just take hours to do, right? Test of details, drafts and executes audit test procedures automatically using client context and prior knowledge, generating review-ready work papers with full traceability from evidence to conclusion. So again, it also helps you draft and just get the work done, right? So it's just not about data extraction; it's actually also working with you. The sell is that Audrey claims over 85% of time savings. Okay, so now let's understand what the target audience is. So they're basically targeting enterprise, so mid to large external audit firms. So you have partners and audit managers for top 10, 20 firms. So basically like big league players, from mid to big league players. Teams doing high volume recurring client engagements again for them. And also a lot of these people have long-term clients, right? So this is where the USP comes in, which is Audrey basically grows as you work with the client, right? It retains the information and gives you even better results as you proceed with them. And what buyers expect from product like this. So this is additionally what I asked Claude to give me, because I want to understand what the end user is expecting, right? Because I'm not an auditor, right? So I want to get into their head like what exactly they're looking for. So 81% of finance leaders report greater trust in firms using advanced technology. So they're like stating some of the facts. 48% believe AI-driven audit innovation leads to enhanced accuracy and error reduction. I think this is very true with the whole advancements that are there. I mean, initially it was super inaccurate, but as the time is going, like the technology is obviously getting better. The key purchase criteria in this category: full traceability from source document to conclusion. So again, whenever AI gives out something, a very important thing is like you need to know what the source is, because a lot of time AI is linked with hallucinations, right? So the last thing that you want is to confidently give your client the the wrong output, right? So that's really important. So full traceability from source document to conclusion. Auditor stays in control, no black box. Works with existing stack, again very important. Like you need integrations because people hate switching to a different software. Imagine if you're a designer and you're told to completely not use Figma and just directly start using an AI tool, it's obviously gonna piss you, right? So that is there. Proven in live engagement before full rollout, and enterprise grade security and tenant data isolation. So again, these are like some things that the buyer expects from a product like this. All right, so let's understand the three competitors that they have. So these are not direct competitors from what I have seen. So if I show you data's, wait, this is data snipper, right? Let me just see. I'm going to open this, and then you have fieldguide.io. So this is how the competitor looks like and feels like. As you can see, this is obviously a more established brand. So that's why they have put more effort in design compared to what Audrey is doing right now. And then you have field guide, and these are not the exact these are like not the exact competitors, because a lot of them are just like data extraction. So to give you a good differentiation, where Audrey differentiates, right? So Audrey's real wedge versus all, I think this means edge, right? Versus all three is continuous firm specific learning. So again, it's growing as it learns about the client. So this is very important. The other tools are more around extracting the data and then finding it. So as you can see here, they've mentioned, right? Data snipper is a document extraction tool. Field guide is a workflow platform. And there's another one which is actually feels like it's from 2000s. Like this is a very like old legacy brand that is there. Even if from the name you can understand, right? It's like longest name that they have. So again, this is yeah, what was the explanation? Yeah, so this is a legacy play that is catching up. So Audrey is only one framing itself as model that actually gets smarter per firm over time. So again, this is good for them long term, and I think this gives them a really good moat to be in. So yeah, this is basically what the whole brand is. And now we're going to be I'm just going to close the other windows so we don't get confused. So yeah, now let's actually see what their website is telling us. So if you go to the website, I think I've already given you like a quick overview of what I think can be improved. Like we need to have a proper structure, which I think is missing here. And also if you take a look, right, the first audit specific AI that learns how your firm audits, I think it needs to be more actionable. The description I think is pretty much perfect. This can still definitely be improved a lot. And then you have two call to actions, right? You have see how it works. If you click on it, it takes you to the process, and then you have book a demo, right? So I think ideally a book a demo should be the primary call to action. Here, as you can see, it is kind of mentioned as like secondary. And the second thing is, I think they'll need like a video here. I mean, I do want, like even the UI, right? This is definitely just like stitched up together, or maybe they don't have like a proper design system set. But again, this is where you want to kind of demo your product. And I think you don't need like the best motion graphics. All you can do is you can literally just drop your video of just using your platform here. I think that should be more than enough, because at the end, people want to see the process, right? And I think process isn't being highlighted a lot well. The next section is getting straight into the problem. Also, wait, actually, no, we're going to be going through this one. Top 10, 20 firms. Again, I'm not sure if this is, maybe they don't want to kind of show it directly, the firm name, so I understand that, but they can be more specific about this, right? 85% time saving. So here also, I think if they can be more specific, let's say, obviously I'm not an auditor, so I don't know how they kind of, place it in that context, but if there's a tool, which helps me save time, how would I position it as, you can save, let's say 3 hours a day or something around that, right? Instead of more than 85% time saving. So this is fine. Like they have given a percentage, but they can be more specific around it, right? And this can actually be a full section, right? Like we can have like a full section around it. And then they have full traceability, which is fine. They haven't mentioned anything around security here, because if you click on security, right, there is definitely a section, right? This and this is also super important for anyone. Like you need that ISO 27001 badge to be there. If they have one, I think they do have it, right? Because this is around security. So this is something that matters a lot, because you're using a software, you're giving very confidential documents to an AI. So highlighting that upfront is super important. They can just use it as a ticker or something. But again, let's move forward. Then comes the problem. I think the second section should always have like a, how do you say, like what is like the main thing that your brand is solving? Like it should be a statement instead of directly just getting into problem, because I think that just summarizes your whole purpose very simply. So for example, let me actually try Harvey if they have it. I have seen it in a brand. Yeah, so as you can see, right, as you scroll down, it just gives a very nice summary. Like Harvey is AI designed for legal and professional services. Advance your expertise on a secure platform that lets you focus on high value work. So this just, it adds another layer of that. Yeah, this is what we do. And one of the very important things that I have seen is on their about page. This is like a very small block of section, but this, I think this is very important. So if you take a look at the value section, right, what drives us? So judgment over automation. This is a huge thing that they've mentioned, because the thing is that a lot of AI tools, what they're trying to like position themselves is, you don't need humans, right? You can just do it yourself. Like AI can do it for you. But for auditors, that's not the case, because again, AI, like it can be 99% of times accurate, but even that 1%, it can cost like the firm their whole reputation, right? So this is very important. I think this is something that they should highlight in the second section. AI should amplify auditor judgment, not replace it. Humans stay in control of conclusions. And then they have trust through traceability, build for, okay, this is fine, but this is what I wanted to kind of mention, that, this is something that needs to be highlighted. So yeah, even the headline in their about section, right? We believe auditor deserve better tools. It's a bit vague, but something around that, right? So yeah, then you have that statement that's going to come in, and then we have audit is stuck. Again, this is, I don't like the headings that they've gone with. They need to like frame it in a way that it feels like an infrastructure than just like, oh, this is the problem, this is what we do. They need to present themselves as like an enterprise in a way. And then you have developers, have Copilot, lawyers, have Harvey, auditors are still in Excel. Yeah, this can definitely be improved. And then you have manual work is crowding out judgment. Yeah, so these are 3 problems. I've just gone through it, so that's why I was a bit silent in between. To work in an audit, AI has to learn your firm audit. So this is fine, but obviously they can be structured a bit better. But I do like, that they have only focused on 3 main problems that are there. All right, so now if we scroll down, we'll see the solution that is there. So they have like these 3 cards. All right, so it adapts to your firm's methodology, learns from historical and new audits. This is fine. Okay, this is all right. And then next comes is like one of the main sections. So what exactly like happens? So PBC agent that we talked about earlier. So here they have mentioned 0-day audit, day 0 audit readiness. Audrey drafts PBC request with client-specific details, generates validation steps automatically, and gives client immediate feedback on completeness before they leave the system. So here they've also mentioned like small illustration where they have this audit on the left side, and then they're using this kind of chat method. And yeah, based on that, it kind of highlights there are some issues. So as you can see, this is what they have shown. This is fine if they add motion to it. Like for example, if I actually go to Jitter, so this is something that we did for one of our client. Yeah, so there are these motion animations that they can definitely use, because these don't take like a lot of time to do. even if they want to do something very simple. Yeah, so basically to show you what we've done for one of our clients, just to show what kind of animations that helps like people understand the product. So this is what we did for Audrey AI. So let me play one of them. So as you can see, it scans something and based on that it gives you like an output. Yeah, so this is like one of like another one that we did. So this, as you can see, it kind of gives you a good understanding on what's happening at the back end. So using Lottie animations like this will definitely help like to understand the product better, because again, motion and video are two important things that you need on your website to like especially in 2026, right? You need to show certain visuals, which makes it very easy for someone to explain your product without them actually just going through that, because again, onboarding, sign up, it takes a lot of time, right? So there definitely needs like those kind of motion graphics to be there. And then again, they're kind of highlighting three of the features under that: smart PPC request, auto draft request based on client system, there's auto validation, process data day 0, so it's verified structured data ready for testing from the moment the engagement starts. Okay, so that is there. And then next comes is the second main thing, which is test of details. So here is where they're kind of showing that 85% time saved per work paper. Okay, so now this is being specific, right? Now it kind of makes sense, because for I think to each person the time taken can be different. So this is also a fine way to show it, and they've been very specific now, saved per work paper, right? Review ready work papers without the grind. So Audrey drafts and executes test procedures using client's context for methodology and prior year knowledge. So again, it's using the data that was previously there, and based on that, as you can see on the left side, they're trying to show some test results. Let me try zooming to that. 1380, which matches total of the invoice. So yeah, now I understand what they're trying to mention here, right? So this just saves you a lot of time, right? Like in cross-checking the information, and all that. Auditor attention goes to exceptions and judgment calls, not document wrangling, right? And then we have AI drafted procedures, focus on exceptions and learns from the feedback. I think this is like the biggest one, because as you use it, it gets better, right? So now why Audrey? So unlike productivity tools that speeds up individual tasks, Audrey delivers end-to-end workflows with review-ready outputs. So you have full traceability, you have like it works with your stats, right? You can integrate it very easily. And then auditor stays in control. Every output is editable. Audrey proposes, the auditor decides. So again, that red button is in your control. Like you want to press it, you press it. You don't want to make any changes, feel free not to do that. So you have full control here, right? And then continuous learning, AI that learns how your firm audits. So your methodology, historical audits, and auditor feedback. Again, pretty simple stuff. And then we have results. So this is like where I think this section should have shown a bit earlier. And yeah, they're showing, wait, let me read this properly. So you have two live pilots with top 10/20 audit firms. They can just go with top 20, right? So yeah, this feels a bit confusing. And then we have more than 85% time reduction to get all right. 85% of on test of details was existing tools. Then you have traceability. All right, this is fine. And the next comes is another important, and this, as you can see, this like it's so easy to skip all this, especially like this section. And I think a lot of it is because of the font that they're going with. Again, guys, again, like instrument serif is, I don't think is the best font to go with. And here sizing is also like an issue. So already delivered results from day one, handling the work that takes the most time, enabling broader, deeper audits for our clients. Then comes very important section, which I think I've already mentioned, enterprise grade security. And then see the difference in 2 weeks. So this, I like the final call to action, but the thing is this can be paired up with button like very well, right? So yeah, this is quite good. And this is like the whole page. They also have about page, which just to give you some idea, I can just go through it. So we believe auditors deserve better tools. Audit is essential to trust in markets, but the work has become unsustainable, too manual, too slow, too much burnout. Okay, this is fine. And yeah, this is also an important one. I think this should have mentioned, because our story, since this is a new product, right? You need to show why you're starting this, right? This is something which isn't established yet. So your purpose should be there, right? So yeah, this should have been on the homepage. So there are like these two founders that are there. So one is Ryan and one is David. Too many friends of his leave the profession early, not because they didn't value the work, but because the work had become the wrong kind of hard. Sharp, motivated people spending too much time in Excel and not enough coaching junior staff, working with clients and applying. So again, just working on a lot of tedious stuff, which, just takes a lot of time and just makes you tired. David had seen different side of the same problem. Working in financial services and global enterprises, he had seen firsthand what large language models could do when applied to regulated, high-stakes, process-heavy industries. The gap between what was technically possible and what auditors were actually using was striking. So again, like both of them had like faced a very common problem in their own industries. So that's what led to Audrey. So Audrey is the result of those two perspectives meeting. And this is the team that they have. So, they're quite experienced people. Like they have worked with McKinsey, like, big brands. So yeah, then they have the values and then just like the final call to action. So let's see what we can do about this. I'm very excited to work. Like now I have like the full understanding also before recording this. I went through it, but now, just explaining to you all guys, it just makes it a lot better. So now it's time to get into design. And guys, in this video, I'm going to be using a different workflow. So I'm not going to be getting directly into Figma. I will be directly first, getting my POV to Claude. Based on that, we're going to be generating a landing page, and then we're simply just going to refine it in Cursor. So that is what I'm going to be using for workflow, because if I went into, some branding side of things, that's just going to take a lot of time. And that's not the point of the series. The main point is how you can, build a better structure for your product to give your product a better base. So it's easy for others to understand, because you can have the best design in the world, but if, people are not able to understand your product, then it's just useless, right? So you have to make sure your product is the structure is good, and that's what we're going to focus on. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is whatever all that I have explained to you, I'm going to be giving this to Claude so we can document all this very properly. So I'm just going to pause the video for a second and I'll be back after I've done that. So I basically took screenshot of all the sections and also like the whole website, and I basically gave it to Claude. And after that, I was using like text to speech. I think this is a very good way to give like all your context in natural language. Okay, guys, so I've done yapping a lot here. So I've given like the full context of what I think a page, like a good page sounds like. So let's just, and I'm going to be giving this to Opus 4.7 so we get like the best response because this is like the best model. It's obviously going to cost me a lot of tokens, but I think it's worth for, building a better page. Then, we can obviously switch to Sonnet. So let's just wait for it and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this actually took some time. I think it took like 5 minutes, right? It took some good amount of time to, like process all this that I've given because I'm using like this speech to text thing. So, I've just given it like super detailed POV of what I think. And based on that, it has given some output. So first, let's take a look. So I told it, yeah, like the first headline that was there, I think it can be improved. The first audit specific AI that learns how your, it wasn't sounding like in a way authoritative. So I thought like we need something that just makes people, like we have to show it like as a statement, right? So let's see what it has given us. So you have outcome quantified, cut 85% of audit busy work, keep 100. No, I honestly don't like. I do like this. Cut 80% of, I would say tedious work. That really sounds better. Keep 100% of the judgment. Audit runs the manual work across every engagement. So your team spends their hours on the calls only auditors can make. I'm not super sure about this. Your best auditors are, no, I honestly don't like this also. The AI that audits the way your firm does. Built around your methodology, your clients, and your prior work, not retrofitted from a generic model. This is also fine. I really like the first line at least. Built around your methodology, your clients, and your prior work. I do like this. Then we have mechanism differentiator, right? Generic AI breaks on audit data. Audrey was built around it. No, again, I think the headlines are really weak for like all the generations that it has given. I do like the descriptions, right? For example, this was quite good. And then you have tabular, evidence, inconsistent client firm. No, I think we need to be more solution specific. So built around your methodology, like reassuring the client, right? Like reassuring the potential customers, the customer that is there, reading the website. Audit still runs on Excel. That ends here. I don't think this goes well as a headline. Maybe some other section that works. So to quickly summarize, I wasn't super happy with all the headings. So I was just looking at different references that we can go with. I really like how Harvey did their website. So I was also taking some of their reference. And yeah, just like I was just giving my point of view based on which Claude basically wrote a better copy after this. And yeah, this is basically like the whole summarization of the video that you see right now. Again, this I'm not super sure about it, honestly. Okay, so let's just get into cursor now. So what I'm going to do is, okay, this is great. Now I want you to basically build a .md file, which basically adds the whole structure, like the whole content in it. So I can give it to like any AI tool to build the website. I think I'm going to be giving it to cursor, so you have to build it like that. So again, to speed things up, I was basically telling Claude to generate a .md file, which is a markdown file that AI tools can read. So it's easy for me to transfer all the information into cursor. Make sure we're following like the similar color theme that is there. But do note for heading font, we're going to go with Geist. So now I'm pronouncing it well. Earlier I used to call it Geist for some reason. So I just learned that you call it Geist, right? So this is good. And what else? I'm just going to get rid of this. Okay, guys, so this is what has been given to us by Cursor. So again, this is like the first generation without actually giving very specific design, like design decisions. So this is how it looks like. Obviously, this isn't good, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be improving this now. Like we're gonna be, improving this on top. But let's just see what it has given us. So first, we have the AI auditor built around your firm's methodology, and then obviously it kind of mentions features built around your clients, your methodology, and your prior year knowledge. This is good. And then you have two buttons. Again, we'll have to work here, and this is where I'm thinking we can have like a video, so I'm just going to be leaving that space for the video. And then we have 3 pointers which are somewhat now improved. Like you have live with top 10 20 audit firms, 85% less time on PVC and test of details, audit grade traceability, evidence to conclusion. So it just feels a lot more complete. And there are also some logos of trust which I'm not sure if they have, because if they did, then they like would have added those. So those logos are not there at the moment, I think, but they do mention it about like somewhere here. Okay, so this is something I'll figure out, but let's just see what the other sections are. So, all right, so this will be definitely be animated. I'm going to be, giving it like a better design feedback. Then we get into the problem. The work has changed. The work has changed. The way we do it hasn't. So yeah, we have all this. Again, as you can see, this is breaking their manual crowds on judgment. The fixes fell short. Audit data breaks AI, and then we have all the work in the audit. This is good, and then we get into the solution. Built around how audit actually works, adapts to your firm methodology, learns from every engagement, reviews, review ready work papers, fully traceable. And then again, as you can see, it has kind of messed up. Like this doesn't really look that good. And then we have the PBC agent, day zero audit readiness. Again, I think this font itself just feels a lot better. We're going to be going with like a less bolder version. I think this is too bold. I honestly don't like this. So we're going to make it a lot more sleeker. That's very important. And then obviously we are following the similar design. I think this is fine. But here we're going to be showing somewhat of an illustration, which I don't think I'm going to be working on. Maybe we're just going to be using GPT-2 for this, but we're going to be having something that is more rectangular, and I think this can also be explained a lot better, right? I mean, at least like expressed a lot better. Yeah, that's the right keyword. And then we have review ready work. So as you can see, it's following like the similar kind of theme in a way. Like if you scroll down, right, you see, yeah, it's following the similar theme, which I intentionally have kept it. Then we have this, and then we have my Audrey. So built for engagement, not task, unlike productivity tools that speed up. This is good. I think it's pretty much the same like how they have before, and the model gets sharper with every engagement. Yeah, this is there again. It's broken. We'll have to fix it up. And then why we built Audrey. So this is also another section we'll have to fix up. But I think this is a very, very good structure now. I just like and also obviously I have generated some FAQs. So now let's actually get into improving all this. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna do a time lapse on this because again this is gonna take some time, but let's see how it goes. So this is the 100x speed of the whole process that I recorded on the side, and as you can see, I'm giving cursor frame by frame animation that I want, and it actually ended up failing a lot. So I also tried Codex, which actually did a good job, but again the results weren't that good. So I just stuck to cursor. And as you can see, I just went back inside Figma because cursors were just not giving like the best output. And me being a designer, I wanted some things to look exactly how I imagined. So I went inside Figma, I designed the whole page. And for second section, I had a different direction in mind while I was designing. So that is what you're going to see right after this time lapse end. But as you can see, I'm doing this for all the sections. And then I basically transferred all this design to cursor and got better results compared to how I um, tried to design with just using prompts. So you can see there are definitely some limitations if we directly wipe code, and actually ended up burning a lot of tokens. So yeah, but I think this was worthwhile to at least explore the new structure direction. So let me know your thoughts and let's get right back to the video. All right, guys, so this is the final generation. This actually took some time to do. Like it took me 2 hours to because some of the steps were just taking like a lot of time. Then I also tried doing this on Codex, which actually did a lot better job just for like the one shot that it made. But then I just stuck to like cursor only because this is what I primarily use. But yeah, to show you what the whole thing is. So as you can see, one thing I just want to say up front that this wasn't like super focused on visuals. I just wanted the whole structure, the whole flow to feel a lot smoother and just make the product explain a lot better. That was the main priority here. All right. So as you can see even here, this is what I've tried to. I just did it like a few minutes back. So as you can see, this is not exactly the same or polished, but pretty much similar to what they already had. And even like this, they're using charcoal black compared to I think mine is a bit more like concrete black. But yeah, let's see what the difference is. So first thing is definitely like the whole feel of the text. I think this just looks a lot more modern, and I mean people are using this, but I think this is mostly like this has become very repetitive. Like I've audited a lot of YC websites, so I've seen this flow, right? So this isn't like the best. And also the headline, if we take a look, right, 85% less manual work across every engagement. And I've also mentioned audit specific AI. We can also mention first ever, but I don't like that keyword specifically. And yeah, so this is their audit specific AI, and then obviously we have the heading, and then we get into mentioning some features: automated PBC, adaptive test procedures, full traceability, built around your clients, your methodology, and your prior knowledge. So this is something that I was thinking on adding the second section, but the second section I have made something very different. I'm very happy like how it turned out. So if you take a look, let me show you their about page, which is something I went through before actually getting into the execution side of things. Is our story, and I think this is a really nice POV that we can show to the audience because a lot of people that's going to come on their website are first-time customers, right? Because this is a new, like I think it's been a year for them when they started. I'm not super sure, but this is quite new. And if you take a look, this is a very nice read, I think, which I've already mentioned. So what happens is the second section talks problem from a point of view perspective. So as we scroll down, we mentioned the name of the founders, and I've also mentioned like this pointer, so this doesn't feel random, like who is Ryan. So I mentioned co-founder again. This all can be made visually a lot better, but this is just like a quick, vibe coding thing that I've done. Ryan watched sharp auditors leave a profession they were trained for, burdened by mechanical work, and then David saw what AI actually do in regulated industry when built with proper care and detail. That gap is where Audrey started. Then we get into highlighting the pinpointing the problems that are there. The work has changed, the way we do hasn't. And then again, it's following the same line. Actually, in the end, I just went with this because this is just like super easy to understand. I was thinking of something different, but I thought let's just stick to this because this is giving like very specific option, specific example like Copilot. Then you have Harvey, right? So I think this works the best. This is good copy from their end. I was just, I think, overthinking. And then comes his manual. Again, these are just like the three main problems, following like the same things that they mentioned, but I've just slightly refined it. And I've also used GPT-2 to kind of generate all the illustration, right, which you saw in the time lapse. I think I did record it. And then we have to work in audit. AI has to learn how your firm audits. So again, it's like the similar lines. And then I've just added a call to action with it. to see how to do it. So if you click on it, it should ideally take you to the form at the bottom. I haven't linked any of that, but I'll probably do once I push this on Vercel, so you can also take a look. This will probably be in the description. And then we get into solutions. So we have these 3 solution cards. Again, a lot of the visuals can be improved, but this is just to optimize it for better structure. And then we get into how it works. So from zero data to review ready work paper. So what I've done here, as you can see, this is just a lot easier to digest, right? Because previous cards, one thing that you notice is like they show full UI at once. This would make sense if they had like a video of it, or like a GIF, or even like some motion graphic with Lottie animation, because then it's very easy to track, because right now you see everything at the same time. This may be a lot more informational, but I think even this works if we just add some motion to it. Because this just shows the UI elements that someone needs to know or needs to notice. For example, this is auditing, right? And based on that, it has validated all the rows and no duplicate account codes found, right? So all that is there. And then test of details is again something. So as you can see, extracted and listing, it's the same, no variance, so it has passed. So this just makes it a lot easier to understand. And I've then mentioned like a heading. We have like a short description, and then we have 3 main pointers. So I think this just makes it a lot easier to understand. And then why Audrey exists, we have 3 main reasons for that. Again, I've generated the same GPT-2 imagery. And then after that, continuous learning, again the same thing. You can just take a look. And this part I haven't put a lot of effort to it, because this is like it's just a testimonial, right? Obviously this can be made better when they actually design it. And then we have enterprise grade security. I think one of the pointers I've also mentioned in the hero section. So yeah, that is there. And then obviously we have FAQs, and then we have the final call to action. So I think I'm really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, let me know, what do you think? This was a really interesting episode, because this, for some reason, it took me some time to get this done in Cursor. For other projects, it didn't took this much time. I don't know like what was the reason. Maybe I didn't prompt well. But yeah, this was really fun to work on. And if you have any other brand, or if you're a founder who wants to get the proper audit done, then feel free to reach me out at takeoverlabs.com. To quickly show you what I do is so Takeover Labs is my solo freelancing business, or you can call it agency also. So I help B2B brands, build designs that are made to convert, that also look pretty. So we offer, 3 of these services. We have designs, development, animations. So I'm also getting into custom coding. So I just not only do Framer, and these are some of the recent projects. And yeah, I also do make Framer templates. So if you have something that you want, and if you want to go live by tomorrow, you can literally just get these templates that I have. And then this is like the code. This is the stuff that I use. So yeah, this is basically pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to click the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.